One drug enters her body, and within hours, her brain begins unlocking powers that can control time, matter, and reality. The story begins in the city of Taipei, Taiwan, where an American girl named Lucy is seen. Lucy is with her boyfriend, Richard. Richard is holding a briefcase, and he is asking Lucy to take it inside the hotel and deliver it to a mysterious man named Mr. Zhang. Lucy wants to know from Richard what is inside the briefcase. Richard tells her that it contains some documents. Lucy refuses to take the briefcase inside and tells Richard to deliver it himself. When Lucy asks further, Richard tells her that he is being paid $1,000 for this job. Richard even offers half of the money to Lucy, but she rejects his offer and starts to walk away. Richard stops her and requests her again, but Lucy clearly refuses. Suddenly, Richard handcuffs the briefcase to Lucy's hand. Seeing this, Lucy becomes very angry and tells Richard to unlock the handcuff immediately. But Richard apologizes and tells her he cannot open it because the key is with Mr. Zhang. Richard says, "All you have to do is go into the hotel and ask for him at the reception." Lucy is shocked that Richard would do something like this to her. Richard tells her that the sooner she goes inside, the sooner she will be able to come back. Even though she doesn't want to, Lucy is forced to follow Richard's instructions. Lucy enters the hotel. She goes to the front desk, and when the clerk asks, she says that she is there for Mr. Zhang. The front desk clerk calls Mr. Zhang and informs him that a girl has come to see him. When Mr. Zhang asks, the clerk asks Lucy for her name. Lucy becomes nervous and says that Richard sent her. Outside, Richard gestures for Lucy to stay calm. After speaking with Mr. Zhang, the front desk clerk tells Lucy to wait for a moment and informs her that Mr. Zhang is on his way. Just then, Mr. Zhang's men arrive, and as soon as they do, they shoot Richard. Seeing this, Lucy becomes terrified and starts to panic. The men then grab Lucy and begin taking her with them. Lucy pleads with them to let her go, but they do not listen and take her to a room inside the hotel. After bringing her into the room, they make Lucy sit on a chair. Lucy then notices Mr. Zhang, whose face is covered in blood. Zhang has just killed someone and begins washing the blood off his hands. In a trembling voice, Lucy asks him, "Do you speak English?" She is extremely frightened. Zhang then walks over to Lucy and makes a call to one of his men. He holds the phone out toward her. On the call, there is a translator who says, "I speak English and I translate for Mr. Zhang." Lucy tells the translator that Richard asked her to deliver the briefcase to Mr. Zhang. Other than that, she knows nothing and has done nothing. After understanding everything, Zhang gives Lucy the code for the briefcase. When Lucy opens it, there are 4 plastic pouches inside filled with something that looks like blue powder. To check the authenticity of the powder, Zhang takes a small amount and places it on a tray. Just then, his men bring a hostage into the room. They make the hostage sit on a chair in front of Lucy. The man appears to be in a semi-conscious state, as if he is barely aware of what is happening. One of Zhang's men puts a straw in the hostage's hand and forces him to inhale the blue powder through his nose. As soon as the hostage inhales the powder, his breathing suddenly becomes strained, as if his body cannot handle the effect. Within moments, the drug begins to take effect, and he starts laughing like a madman. Seeing his strange and terrifying laughter, Lucy becomes extremely frightened. Suddenly, Zhang shoots him. Watching this, Lucy trembles with fear. After that, Zhang tells Lucy that he has a job for her. Lucy says that she does not want to do any job. At that moment, one of Zhang's men strikes Lucy on the head, and she loses consciousness. In the next scene, a professor named Samuel Norman is seen. Professor Norman is a scientist and researcher who studies the human brain and its capabilities. He believes that humans use only a small portion of their brain, about 10%. Professor Norman is researching the idea of what would happen if a person were able to use 100% of their brain capacity. After some time, Lucy regains consciousness. As soon as she opens her eyes, she feels unbearable pain in her abdomen. She carefully looks down and is shocked to see a thick bandage wrapped around her stomach. It is clear that she has undergone surgery. A quick reminder, YouTube data shows that most viewers watching the channel aren't subscribed. Subscribing is appreciated. Just then, Zhang's men enter the room and tell Lucy to get dressed and come with them to see Zhang. She is then brought before him. Zhang greets her with a smile, but a frightened Lucy asks him what they have done to her stomach. At that moment, a British man enters the room. In a calm tone, he tells Lucy that there is nothing to worry about. It is just a small incision, and in a few months there will not even be a visible scar. Shocked and scared, Lucy asks why they made an incision in her stomach. The British man coldly replies that they have placed a small package in her lower abdomen. He explains that it is a new drug called CPH4, which is very popular in Europe. Hearing this, Lucy is horrified. Just then, more hostages are brought into the room. Like Lucy, each of them also has a packet of CPH4 placed inside their abdomen. The British man hands Lucy and the others their passports and tickets. He explains that with these passports and tickets, they will return to their respective countries within the next 24 hours. Once they arrive, their people will take them into custody so they can retrieve their product, and in return, they will be given their freedom. After that, Zhang's men place black hoods over each hostage's head one by one and begin taking them away. A terrified Lucy asks if they are going to sell the product. The British man coldly replies that this is their business. Then a black hood is placed over Lucy's head as well. When the black hood is removed from Lucy's face, she finds two men standing in front of her. One of them is chaining her hands while the other tries to misbehave with her. The man starts putting his hand inside Lucy's shirt. Lucy immediately pushes his hand away, injuring his finger. Enraged, the man punches her hard. After that, he begins kicking her. Seeing this, the other man tries to stop him and pulls him out of the room. Lucy lies on the floor, groaning in pain. Because of the beating, the incision on her stomach reopens, and blood begins to flow from it. Suddenly, her breathing becomes fast and irregular. The impact has caused one of the CPH4 packets inside her abdomen to burst, and the drug begins spreading directly into her body. Within moments, the color of her eyes begins to change. As the drug mixes into her bloodstream, Lucy's body starts convulsing uncontrollably. Her entire body trembles and she begins climbing the walls. In the very next moment, she clings to the ceiling of the room, as if gravity has lost its effect on her. She starts floating in the air. Lucy has no control over her own body and begins making strange and unnatural movements. On the other side, Professor Norman is presenting his research at a seminar. He asks the audience what life would be like if a human being could use 20% of their brain capacity. The professor explains that in the first stage, a person could gain complete control over their own body. He says that the human body contains about 100 billion neurons, but only around 15% of them remain active. If the brain becomes active up to 20%, a person could access more neurons and control their body according to their will. At that moment, a student asks him what the next stage would be. Professor Norman replies that the next stage might involve gaining control over other people. But for that, the brain would need to reach at least 40% capacity. He also says that for now, all of this is only a theory, and until it becomes practically possible, it will sound like something from a science fiction story. During the same session, another student asks him what would happen if a person unlocked 100% of their brain capacity. Hearing this question, Professor Norman pauses for a moment and finally says in a calm voice that he has no idea. After this, Lucy is seen sitting calmly on a chair. There is a strange stillness and silence on her face. Just then, a man enters the room. He places his gun on the table and approaches Lucy with bad intentions. But as soon as he tries to touch her, Lucy suddenly attacks him. The man is thrown violently across the room and falls at a distance. Without any panic, Lucy pulls the table toward herself, picks up the gun lying on it, and shoots him. She then unlocks the chains from her hands and walks out of the room. As soon as she steps outside, Lucy opens fire on all the gang members present there and takes them down one by one. After that, she begins eating all the food around her at an abnormal speed, as if her body suddenly needs a massive amount of energy. Then her attention falls on her shoulder, where she has been shot. Without hesitation, Lucy removes the bullet from her shoulder with her own hands. Afterward, she fills a bag with the weapons lying around and leaves the place. As soon as Lucy steps outside, she stops a taxi and points a gun at the driver, ordering him to take her to a hospital immediately. On the way, when the taxi stops at a traffic signal, Lucy realizes that her hearing has increased abnormally. She can clearly hear the phone conversation of a girl standing on the other side of the street. Gradually, she understands that she can now easily hear the voices and conversations of every person around her. Lucy then arrives at the hospital and walks straight into an operating room without stopping. A team of doctors is performing surgery on a patient. Lucy steps closer and begins examining the patient's medical reports. The doctors tell her to leave, but Lucy calmly pulls out her gun and moves forward, aiming it at them. She then suddenly shoots the patient. After that, Lucy moves the patient's body aside and says in a cold tone that they would not have been able to save him because the tumor had already spread to his brain cortex and to the right side of his spine. After that, Lucy sits on the operating table and, at gunpoint, tells the doctor that someone has placed a packet of drugs inside her body and it is now leaking. She orders the doctor to remove it immediately. The surgeon, visibly nervous, says that he needs to administer local anesthesia first, but Lucy calmly tells him that there is no need for that. The surgeon begins removing the stitches from Lucy's abdomen. While he is working, Lucy asks for his phone and calls her mother. During the call, she becomes emotional and says that she can feel everything. The air, the vibrations, gravity, the rotation of the earth, even the blood flowing through her veins and her own brain. She says that she remembers everything, even the taste of her mother's milk. Her mother, confused and shocked, asks what she is talking about. Lucy simply tells her that she loves her very much and thanks her for every kiss, which she says she can still feel on her face. By then, the surgeon removes the drug packet from Lucy's abdomen. Lucy asks if all the drugs have been taken out. The surgeon replies that more than half of the substance is still inside her body. Lucy asks, "How long will it take for my body to eliminate the remaining drugs?" The surgeon answers, "To give you that answer, I would need to know what that substance actually is." Lucy tells the surgeon that the drug is called CPH4. Hearing this, the surgeon is stunned. Lucy reads the expression on his face and asks him to explain what CPH4 is. The surgeon explains that CPH4 is a chemical produced in very small amounts during early pregnancy. It provides the fetus with the essential energy needed to develop bones and organs, and its power is said to be comparable to that of an atomic bomb. He says he had heard that some people were trying to create a synthetic version of it, but he did not know they had actually succeeded. The surgeon adds that if this truly is CPH4, he is surprised that Lucy is still alive. Lucy calmly responds that she will not be alive for much longer. As soon as Lucy steps out of the hospital, she feels a different kind of energy. Now, she can sense things that are invisible to the naked eye. She begins to see life flowing from the roots of a tree to its branches, as if a life force is running through everything. After this, Lucy goes straight to Jang's hotel. She holds a gun in each hand and moves quickly toward him. On the other side, Jang is sitting comfortably with cucumber slices over his eyes and headphones in his ears. He is enjoying music while a girl works on his tattoo, completely immersed in a moment of relaxation. Meanwhile, Lucy shoots anyone who comes in front of her as she moves forward. She reaches Jang's room and tells the tattoo artist to leave. Lucy then pulls out 2 knives and stabs them into both of Jang's hands. Jang screams in pain. She asks him, "Where are the others who are carrying the drugs?" But Jang does not respond. Lucy places her hand on his head and begins sensing his memories. Through his mind, she sees everything that happened at that moment, glimpses the people who had drugs placed inside their bodies. Her brain has developed so much that she can even see their flight tickets with their destinations written on them. Lucy discovers 3 locations: Berlin, Paris, and Rome. After that, she says thank you to Jang and walks away, leaving him screaming in anger. In the next scene, Lucy goes to meet her friend. As soon as her friend hugs her, Lucy instantly begins sensing the activity happening inside her body. Lucy then asks for her laptop. She starts researching CPH4, her symptoms, and the increasing capacity of her brain. During this search, she learns about Professor Norman. On the other side, Professor Norman is about to have dinner when his phone rings. Lucy is on the call. She says, "I have read all your research on the human brain. We need to meet." Professor Norman responds in a slightly humorous tone that it is hard to believe what she is saying. Suddenly, Lucy appears on his television screen. Seeing this, the professor is completely stunned. Lucy tells him that she has read his research and that he is on the right path. She says, "My cells are multiplying at an extraordinary speed, millions per second. I'm having difficulty determining the exact time of my death, but I probably won't survive more than 24 hours. The professor asks, "What are you talking about?" Lucy replies, "I have absorbed a massive amount of synthetic CPH4. It will allow me to use 100% of my brain capacity. Right now, I'm at 28%. She continues, "Your theory is correct. When the brain reaches 20%, it begins to open up and the remaining parts start activating. I am expanding my own brain. Hearing this, the professor says he does not know what to say. He says that if this is true, he has been working on this theory for the past 20 years, but until now it has only been a hypothesis and a research idea. He asks Lucy if she is able to control her metabolism. Lucy answers yes and says that she can now control other people's bodies as well. She also says she can control magnetic and electrical waves, such as television, computers, phones, and radio. The professor is left astonished. Lucy continues, saying that she can no longer feel pain, fear, happiness, or desire, as if the very things that made her human are slowly disappearing. She tells him that knowledge of everything is now flooding inside her: quantum physics, applied mathematics, and the infinite potential of a cell's nucleus. All of this knowledge is spreading through her mind like an explosion, but she does not know what to do with it. The professor falls silent for a few moments. Then he quietly says that nature has given them life, and the only purpose of life has always been to pass on what they have learned. There has never been a greater purpose than that. He adds, "If you are asking me what you should do with all this knowledge you are gathering inside you, then I would say, pass it on." Lucy agrees with him and says, "I will be at your door in 12 hours. With that, she ends the connection. In the next scene, a breaking news report is shown on a Taiwanese news channel. It states that an unidentified woman shot and killed a patient at a hospital during the night. The report also describes the suspect, approximately 25 years old, blonde, and of medium height. The police are searching for her everywhere. After that, Lucy is seen at the airport. Because her identity has been revealed in the news, she uses her enhanced cerebral ability to change her blonde hair to black. She then calls the French police. An officer named Pierre Del Rio answers the phone. Lucy tells him that she has information about a group of drug traffickers. At first, Del takes her lightly. Lucy then says in a serious voice, "Listen carefully, Pierre Del Rio. Get up from your desk, sit down in your chair, pick up the red pen on your left, and write down what I'm about to say." Hearing this, Del's face turns pale. He immediately looks at the pen on his left. He cannot understand how Lucy knows so much about him. Lucy says, "Hurry up, I don't have time." Del sits down and asks for the information. Lucy tells him that she is sending details of 3 individuals who are about to arrive in Europe at any moment. She explains that each of them has had a drug packet surgically placed inside their abdomen. She says, "Arrest them and take the substance into your custody. Be careful while removing it. The drug is extremely powerful." In the end, Lucy tells Del that she will be meeting him soon. In the next scene, Paris Airport is shown, where a police team is already stationed based on Lucy's information, waiting to capture the individuals she identified. Similarly, police in Berlin and Rome are on alert. One by one, all the individuals carrying drugs hidden inside their bodies are arrested. Zhang's men are also seen arriving there to collect the drugs. But before they can do anything, both the drugs and the couriers fall into police custody. After completing the paperwork, Del orders that all the arrested men be sent to him. In the next scene, Lucy is on a flight to Paris. A flight attendant offers her a glass of champagne. As soon as she drinks it, she notices that one of her teeth has fallen into the glass. Within moments, she begins coughing violently, and more of her teeth start falling out. Suddenly, the effect of CPH4 intensifies inside her body. Before her eyes, her hand begins breaking apart into tiny particles. The passengers around her panic at the sight. Lucy quickly gets up from her seat, but now her entire body starts turning into dust-like fragments. She runs into the aircraft restroom. Inside, she sees that her fingers are also disintegrating into particles. When she looks into the mirror, she finds that her face is breaking apart as well. In a state of panic, she takes out CPH4 from her bag and begins inhaling it. Outside, the flight attendants knock on the door, asking her to open it for safety reasons. After taking the CPH4, Lucy slowly begins to stabilize. However, the drug's effect has become so powerful that her body can no longer handle it, and within moments, her entire body turns into dust-like particles and scatters. In the next scene, Del is seen at a hospital. This is the same hospital where Lucy was brought after the flight landed. A doctor explains that Lucy was found in a semi-conscious state in the aircraft restroom. Del asks how she is now. The doctor says that for the moment she is stable, but because of the injection she was given, she is expected to remain unconscious for the entire day. Just then, Lucy's eyes open. Her eyelids begin blinking rapidly, and with every blink, the color of her eyes changes. Finally, it settles into one permanent shade. Her cerebral capacity has now reached 50%. Lucy sits up and seems to scan every activity happening around her. A nurse notices that she is awake and runs to inform the doctor. Hearing this, Dell and the other officers rush toward her. Meanwhile, Lucy walks out of the room. Dell points his gun at her and says, "Don't move." Lucy calmly replies that she wants to speak with him alone. Dell orders her to raise her hands. Lucy slightly lifts her hand, and all the men present instantly fall unconscious. As she moves closer to Dell, the bullets from his gun drop to the floor on their own. Lucy asks him, "Did you capture those men?" Dell answers yes. She then asks, "Where are they?" Dell tells her that they are all in Paris, in secure custody. Lucy responds that she needs all the packets as soon as possible. In the next scene, the captured men are brought to the hospital so the drug packets can be removed from their abdomens. One of Zhang's men is present there, constantly updating his boss about everything happening. The French police take the three men into a room where surgery is about to begin. Suddenly, Zhang's men arrive. They burst into the room and start firing at the doctors and police officers. After that, Zhang's own doctor begins removing the drugs from the men's stomachs. 2 packets have already been extracted when a police officer enters the room. Heavy gunfire erupts between the police and Zhang's men. Taking advantage of the chaos, the third man, who still has the drugs inside him, tries to escape to save his life. But Zhang's men shoot him. At that moment, Lucy arrives. Zhang's men immediately point their guns at her. In a calm voice, Lucy tells them to hand over the drugs, but Zhang's man refuses and orders his people to kill her. As they move forward to attack, all their guns suddenly stick to the ceiling on their own. Using the power of her mind, Lucy lifts them into the air one by one. She then walks forward and freezes Zhang's man in place. He cannot even move. Lucy snatches the briefcase filled with drugs from his hand. She hands it to Dell and tells him to open it. Meanwhile, she walks over to the third man lying on the ground, who still has drugs inside his body. Without hesitation, Lucy inserts her hand into his abdomen and pulls out the drug packet. She places it into the case as well and tells Dell to leave with her. In the next scene, Professor Norman is seen in a college lab with some of his colleagues, waiting for Lucy. Shortly after, Lucy arrives there with Dell. The professor tells his colleagues that they are all connected to this research, and he introduces Lucy to them in front of everyone. On the other side, Zhang's man informs him about everything that happened at the hospital. Hearing this, Zhang orders all his men to gather. Meanwhile, Lucy senses that something major is about to happen. She tells Dell that some people are coming and that she needs complete concentration, so she asks if he can secure the room. Dell immediately calls in a police team for Lucy's protection. However, Zhang tracks Lucy's location and arrives there with all his men. Lucy is explaining everything happening to her to the professor and his team. She says that her brain is now 70% active. She can control her body's cells, alter them, break them down, and rebuild them. She explains that humanity has created different theories and measurements to understand the world, but the only real truth is time. Without time, neither matter nor existence has any meaning. Meanwhile, Zhang storms into the college with his men, firing in all directions. He shoots down anyone who comes in front of him. Hearing the gunshots, the professor and his colleagues panic. Just then, Dell rushes inside and tells Lucy that he cannot hold Zhang off for much longer. Lucy calmly and coldly says, "Then, the time has come." At Lucy's instruction, everyone begins preparing to inject her with all the remaining CPH4. Professor Norman nervously asks, "Are you sure? With such a massive dose, you might not survive." Lucy calmly replies that to reach the full 100% capacity of her brain, she has to force her cells, and that is why the overdose is necessary. Besides, she does not have much time left anyway. She then explains that she will create a supercomputer and transfer all of her knowledge into it, and she will give Professor Norman access to it. On the other side, intense gunfire erupts between Zhang and the police. At the same time, as all the CPH4 enters Lucy's body, an immense surge of energy spreads through her like an explosion. Her cells begin transforming at a rate of billions per second, and her hand slowly turns black, taking on the appearance of some kind of dark matter. Suddenly, her human body can no longer bear the weight of such vast knowledge. To stabilize herself, Lucy begins absorbing the surrounding technology. She draws in all the light from the room, and the space fills with a strange glow. From these elements, she starts constructing an advanced supercomputer, gathering within it the secrets of the universe. As her brain approaches 90% capacity, Lucy no longer remains confined to that room. She transcends the limits of the entire era. Her existence seems to break free from time and space. She begins traveling backward through the stream of time. Before her eyes, the evolution of human civilization unfolds. The rise of great cities, the emergence of ancient cultures, and even further back, to an age when dinosaurs ruled the earth. But she does not stop there. She goes further back, to the moment when humanity was just beginning. Finally, she stands face to face with her own primitive ancestor, Lucy. A quiet moment passes between them. When they touch fingertips, it feels as if the past and the future merge into a single point, as though the entire cycle of time is contained within that touch. She then goes even further back, to the Big Bang, where every atom first came into existence. Meanwhile, Jang's men overpower the police and use an RPG to destroy Lucy's protection. Jang enters the lab and points his gun at her. But it is already too late. Lucy's body has completely turned black. As her brain reaches 100% capacity, she suddenly disappears. Jang cannot understand where she has gone. Just then, Dell comes up from behind and shoots Jang. After that, it is seen that Lucy has prepared a drive for Professor Norman, and it is placed in his hands. Dell asks the professor, "Where is Lucy?" At that moment, Dell's phone screen flickers, and the words appear, "I am everywhere." So that was the end of the movie. If you liked the explanation, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.